Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you here. I learned a long time ago that my mission in life was to hang around mental health people and set them straight. So I hope I'm successful in that this morning. No, thank you, all of you, for your contributions. On the table there is my PowerPoint. I want you to know I prepared a PowerPoint about policy development, but I'm not going to deliver it. I'm going to go off script with Jane, or without Jane's permission, and I want to talk to the teachers in the group in particular, because we're this group across the street over in the West End, and you're all over here, most of you are over here, engaging in some excellent workshops and training sessions and opportunities to interact around what you do in the classroom. And sometimes the twain doesn't meet. Kathy Berger-Kay talked to us the other night about connecting the dots. And I want to connect some dots for you today. And yep, just like Doug said, I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. So after 20 years, Lois has finally convinced me that I shouldn't say, don't ask teachers to do one more thing when it comes to child protection. But let me start by reading to you two sentences from a one-page document. I'll later tell you the source of this document. Sentence number 1. Schools fill a special institutional role in society as protectors of children. Schools fill a special institutional role in society as protectors of children. Sentence number 2. Educators, having the opportunity to observe and interact with children over time, are in a unique position to identify children who are in need of help and protection. Educators, having the opportunity to observe and interact with children over time, are in a unique position to identify children who are in need of help and protection. So let me try to connect the dots. I see Chris back there, and yesterday Chris had a great anecdote, made us laugh about fire and fire drills and all the security guards running to the fire and nobody there to unlock the gates and let the fire trucks in. How many times, stand up if you have been in a school when there was actually a fire more than 5 times in your career? More than 4 times. 4 times in your career. 3 times. Okay. So 3 times. And you know what? I see some gray hairs out there. These are not young careers. 2 times. I actually had a fire. So far I've got 4 people in this audience. How many have been in a school where there was once your school had a fire? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It gets up around the 20s there, right? And you know what the thing about fires is? Our senses, you know? Did you ever say to your spouse, do you smell something burning? And we know. Do you see smoke coming out of that socket? And we know. In our school, every year, we have a training where teachers have the opportunity to actually use a fire extinguisher. How many of your schools do that? Not many. Do you want the first time you're faced with a fire to be how you're trying to figure out how to pull the pin out and squeeze the trigger? Is that a good plan? No, absolutely not. Well, I want to tell you that a child who's being bullied in your school, or a child who is isolated in your school, or a child who is exposed to emotional abuse at home, or domestic violence at home, is on fire every single day. But we don't know the signs. Maybe we do, but we're not sensitized to them. Maybe our school hasn't empowered us. Maybe our school hasn't given us the tools that we need to see the signs of the kid on fire in your 3rd grade classroom who needs your help, because the school hasn't done a child protection drill. In our school, we have fire drills once a quarter. And I only thought of this today. as I went off script and said, what do I want to say to the teachers in this audience? I'm going to go back and ask our principals, if we have fire drills once a quarter, then why don't we have faculty meetings talking about child well-being once a quarter? Why can't we be at least as prepared for the fire in third grade of a child who's experiencing emotional abuse at home? Why can't we once a quarter learn those signs? And this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Yes, I could talk to you about policy, and my presentation across the street this afternoon, which I did yesterday, will be about a comprehensive child protection program and policy in our schools. And I'd be happy to sit with you at any time and tell you that, and share that with you, and share that with your school leader. But what I am going to ask you to do is this. Go to the AISA website. Go to the Child Symposium section and download this handbook and read it on the plane on your way home. You'll find those curriculum lessons that Lois talked about. And if you go to pages 13, oh, sorry, I have the first edition. It's signed and autographed copy. No. Change the page numbers, but you will find in here the signs of physical abuse. Do you know them? That's the one most of us know. Kid comes in and he's got bruises, right? We send him to the nurse. Is the nurse empowered to know what to do? Do you know what to do? Whatever that, the next page talks about signs of emotional abuse. Do you know these signs? Physical and mental emotional development is delayed. Kids are highly anxious. They may show suddenly change in speech patterns. They may demonstrate fear of new situations. They have low self-esteem, inappropriate emotional responses. You'll see that from them. They may be extremely passive or aggressive, like the toddlers that Sherry referred to. Anyway, I won't go through all the signs. They're there. And as Doug said earlier, you don't have to be an expert because you're with kids all the time. You're teachers, and you know these things. But I think what we have to do is bring that to a conscious level. There are children in your school who are on fire, and we need to help them. We need to be prepared to help them. Your schools have an obligation to have in place a policy and procedures and systems, as both Lois and Sherry talked about, to support you when you suspect, when you have reasonable cause to suspect your kindergartner, your 10th grader needs help. We're working, I'm a head of school, so a lot of my stuff is on policy and program development. I'm not going to be the person to see the kids. You are. I've been in my school now for 6 years. And we just hosted the Waysville basketball tournament. And I'm watching these kids and I'm thinking, my goodness, I knew that guy when he was in third grade. He's 6'1" now. How did that happen? But the PE teacher has known that kid from third grade all the way through ninth grade on a weekly basis. And if that student was showing some demonstration of changes of behavior, the PE teacher would see it. All right? So what I'm asking you to do as teachers is to embrace the opportunity and the responsibility to help kids, to know the signs and look for the signs. And it doesn't necessarily mean 2 or 3 signs something's happening, but there's a pattern of behavior. There's 4 or 5 of those boxes you're ticking off about this child. You should know how to refer that. You should know how to get help. And your school should have a system in place. And that's what we've been working on. In your sessions this week here in the conference center, if you're an English teacher, you've probably selected some of the sessions around English, if you're a French teacher, etc. You know what, if you're a French teacher, you don't have to know how to teach English. And if you're an English teacher, you don't have to know how to teach PE. And if you're a PE teacher, you don't have to know how to teach math. But if you're a teacher, you have to know how to recognize the signs of kids who are in trouble. Your school has to provide you the support and the systems to help those kids. And you need to know what the support system is. That's what I'm going to ask you to do. Take that to heart. Download the handbook. Read the signs. And be thinking about that. And when you go back next week, ask your principal, what is our child protection policy? If I feel like a kid's in trouble, will I get the support I need? And what does that look like? What are my responsibilities? How is the school going to help me? How is the school going to help me help this child? Schools fill a special institutional role as in society as protectors of children. Educators having the opportunity to observe and interact with children over time are in a unique position to identify children who are in need of help and protection. Those sentences come from child protection policy at Lincoln Community School. This is what we believe, and this is what our school should be doing. And as Doug said yesterday when he was introducing the panel, you guys know your kids the best, but you need to know this too. Thank you. I want to introduce my team. I'm going to go a little over time. I flashed this book at you very quickly. The AISA region 2 years ago formed a working group to develop materials to support child protection in our AISA schools. And a very talented group of educators came together at our school in Lincoln. And I see David Kramer in the audience. I want to thank David for the support from the Office of Overseas Schools who provided a grant for us to do this. And this book that we developed together for over 5 days and online over another couple of months has been disseminated widely. And I want to just honor and appreciate the people who have given up of their time and their thoughts and their talents to create this, not only this book, but to create this movement in our region. And we're still together after 2 years, and you'll hear more from us because we have some more plans as we plug into AISA's development of regional conferences. So, very quickly, members of the Child Protection Working Group who are with us, some of the original members have moved to other regions. Sean Arias? Sean, why don't you all stand up? Everybody stand up, turn around so they can see you for a longer time, and just wave when I call your name. So Sean Arias is started with, when we started, he was at IS Harare, and he's now in AIS Lagos as elementary school principal. Did you wave, Sean? Yeah, okay, that's Sean. Dr. Lois Engelbrecht, you've heard from, the Center for Prevention and Treatment of Child Sex Abuse. Kate Kersey. Kate was at IS Tanganyika when she joined the group, is now at IS Bangkok and doing lots of good stuff over in Asia. Veronica Pickering, you heard from yesterday. Oh, she's in the back. There she is. Who's been a consultant to the group. Tanya Ribeiro, elementary counselor at IS Mozambique. She's done great work with involving parents in her school. Natasha Winnard at the Khartoum International Community School in Sudan, who's done amazing work, not just within the school, but in the community. And then coming to our group a year later as members moved on, Lila Phillips is a middle school counselor at IS Tanganyika. Sakai Chitakire, I think, is the elementary counselor, sorry, Sakai, at Harare International School. Robin Harwood is elementary counselor at Lincoln Community School. Dr. Irene Epp is the head of school at the American School of Kinshasa. There she is in the back. And our original group had a few more teachers as well. I want you to appreciate the efforts and the commitment of this team of people who have really gone above and beyond the call in helping promote child safety in our region. Thank you all very much. And lastly, if you're interested, Lois's group has developed a child protection personal safety workbook for international schools. This is an elementary handbook that is very, very effective and very, very popular with the children. So if you're interested, you can see Lois and arrange to get a copy of that. I'm over my 10 minutes. I apologize for that. Thank you very much. Download the handbook. That's your homework assignment. Read it on the plane. Know those signs. Thank you.